All right, so welcome back after a long hiatus, everybody. Okay, so as usual, let's do a quick recap because I think we'll need one for a while. It's been a minute. I have to remember what also happened, which is a bad sign. So last session, before our little breaksies, we were back in the town of Phandalin after transporting some goats. After handing off the goats, we found out that in Phandalin there seemed to be some troublesome deeds going on with some new people showing up in town that no one really recognized, didn't know what they were about. And what we kind of unraveled is this like secret turf war between these two rival cultists and cult groups. One worshiping the storm god Talos, who was kind of the new up-and-comer in this region, trying to take over parts of this area and really indoctrinate the people with his worship, which we actually kind of ran into some of them from Campaign 1, and it's kind of bled into this. And then the other one's cultist to Merkel, who is kind of the god of death, like the evil god of death and undeath and zombies, etc. And as they were fighting, we saw that they were kind of fighting over some of the town of Phandalin. We were fortunately able to kind of uncover these evil forces, put a stop to them. We killed pretty much all the major cultist players in the town, which was good. And as we were kind of finishing up in Phandalin, y'all noticed that there was this like really terrible storm seeming to come over yonder back kind of towards the way of Leilon, the city that we had kind of been establishing a foothold in over the course of the series. And what was troubling is the storm front, the giant cumulus clouds that were forming, seemed to be forming in the shape of a giant skull, which is clearly problematic. With lightning and things coming from it, et cetera, et cetera. And as we kind of went into that direction, kind of figure out what was going on and put a stop to this, we had some interesting interactions with everyone's favorite mining leader. And after she kind of, you guys outed her as a member of the Zentarum with some maybe poor talking, fast talking, however you want to put it. She did recommend that the cult of Talos would probably be the first one to go over, so you headed towards this the storm front in lieu of that. As you kind of headed in that direction back towards Leilon, you saw that the storm was really congregating over the Wayside Inn, the first inn that we kind of visited on our way to this town. And as we kind of broke through the storm front, we saw these flying air elemental creatures. You were able to fell them, kind of get into the inn, and inside the inn, as you kind of found creative ways to get in there, you did see a lot of the former people that were staying at the inn or running the inn were actually Cult of Talos worshippers, kind of outed now, trying to run this ritual. You were able to fell most of them and make your way kind of down. And when you started heading down towards kind of the other areas of the inn, you ran into a young mage who was kind of hiding out, one of the few people that was not part of this cult, just kind of staying at the inn while all the hullabaloo happened. And she kind of offered to help tell you a little bit of what was going on. She helped you discover where the ritual source was coming from down in the cellar. And so you kind of let her scout ahead a little bit for you and offer of protecting her, but you wanted her to kind of see what was happening. You followed her down into the cellar, and that's where you found the source of this ritual, which was Tiga, a blacksmith who was also kind of helping operate the inn, that you had experienced way back at the beginning of this. And Tiga was basically praying and worshiping this giant statue in the likeness of Talos. And as you entered into this space and you noticed the air in here swirling and having a really heavy current with some electricity crackling from the statue to Tiga, she kind of turned around and the statue came to life, and the statue and Tiga both attacked you in a pretty tough fight. The statue was huge and large and hard to really make an impact on, but after a long battle, you were able to slay Tiga, stop the statue, and ultimately see that Martisha, the innkeeper, the person who ran the inn, was tied up, bound kind of in the corner of the room, thrown on a stack of sacks and some other things. But troublingly, as you ended whatever this ritual was, this like all-present laughter and voice kind of came from everywhere with this deep, grumbling voice, laughing and saying that you were too late, you didn't end the ritual in time. And this huge thunderclap just was heard outside, and the storm seem to almost grow and not actually dissipate as you were hoping. And that's what we're going to pick up in the basement of the Wayside Inn, in the cellar of it. Destroyed statue of Talos in front of you, as well as the body of Tiga, the dwarf blacksmith woman, who was leading most of this, as it seems. And then Martisha, bound, tied up, basically trying to squeeze out for help in the corner of the room. And so that's where we'll pick up, friends. Jeremy, I see that you were asking for the map link. It's pinned in the Discord channel. So if you look through it, you should be able to find it there for you, just so you have it readily available.
Wow, fancy. Hey, didn't we cut someone's hand off?
Yes.
That sounds familiar. I think so.
We did. We sure did.
I couldn't tell you why.
Tiga. No, because she had the bracelets.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's how you ended it.
like,
Yeah. You were trying to get her separated.
Off.
Yeah. And that actually is what killed her, is that you separated her bond to the statue.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say it's pinned in the Discord channel, I have no idea what the heck that means.
If you look in the Discord,
The link.
the D&D chat thread that we have, if you go up to the top, you'll see that little thumbtack for pinned messages, and it will have the link for you.
Oh. Fancy. Okay, cool.
What's the anchor? Is that the statue or Tiga?
The anchor is actually Zendri's Meow Meow.
Oh, it's Meow Meow.
Yeah. The statue I can put back in there, I guess, just to give you reference if you'd like it. But basically, it's like a pile of ruins in the middle of this cellar.
Yeah.
I remember.
Okay. So, yeah, that was fucked up and crazy. Morticia? I think we should probably ungag Morticia and see if she what she knows about any of this craziness. So I'm gonna go. I don't know if she's gagged. I'm gonna go investigate Morticia and just see if she's okay. Is she alive? If she is gagged, I'm gonna ungag her.
Yeah. So
Just don't untie her yet.
Yeah, she does have a gag around her mouth, and she is bound with her hands behind her back. She's kind of been like haphazardly thrown in a corner of the room on top of like several just sacks of things and like other just things that looks like they were kind of collecting for this ritual. She's pretty badly beaten up, bleeding pretty badly, bruised. But when you do kind of get the kind of gag out of her mouth, you can still see that she's even through the bruises and everything, she is a very stunningly pretty half-elf woman, even with her hair all a mess. And she kind of like spits on the ground in Tiga's direction, and she says, "That fucking bitch."
Well, you look as bad as we do, love. You wanna tell us what the hell just happened here?
I honestly don't know, and all I can tell you is these people I hired suddenly grabbed me, threw me down here, and basically said they were taking over, and this was, the last thing I kind of remember before they started beating me unconscious.
Forgive us for being a little cautious. We'll untie you here in just a moment, but we just need to figure out if you were part of this or...
Do I look like I was fucking part of this? Do you think this is the look of someone who would be a part of this? Whatever this fucking is, I don't know.
Listen, we've seen some crazy shit, and did you ever suspect her doing anything weird before tonight?
Roll a persuasion check.
I don't know if you can see it on there, but no, it's 24. It's crazy.
Yeah, so she kind of looks off to the side, looks at the kind of corpse on the floor and says, "I wasn't always an innkeeper, okay? I might have been, I guess you could say, a pirate in my earlier days. I've seen the sort before. The imagery isn't new. I knew they were probably worshippers of Talos, but a lot of old sailors worshipped Talos or had tattoos. It was almost a requirement if you were at sea for any length of time. any moment he could turn and strike your ship just out of the water. So I suspected where maybe some of their old faith lied, but I'd never expected them to try to take over my inn. And she spits on the floor again.
Do you know why they wanted to take over your inn? Was it just to help summon Talos or for anything else?
I really don't know. I will say the thing that seems strange to me is they were trying to, I guess, kidnap Tarbin, the bard I hired. For what ends? I don't understand.
Where is Tarbin right now? Does anyone know?
Do you guys know where he is? Is that the question?
Yeah, does anyone know where he is?
I don't remember.
The last you encountered Tarbin was the first time you were at the inn, and he was so annoying you basically told him to leave you alone.
Oh, that's right. He was... Okay. Is there anyone else here we should be concerned about? I'm gonna get you untied here in a minute. You seem on the level, and you've had probably a pretty rough night. Anyone else we should be concerned about that we might need to fight a fucking statue with?
Just the fuckers upstairs. If they're done, I don't know of anywhere else in the inn that they would be.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna untie Morticia. I think she's been clear.
So you untie Morticia. She kind of gets her hands out from under her and kind of rubs them a bit. Thank you. I don't know how I'm going to clean up this mess. For what it's worth, if you ever need a place to stay, the Wayside is open to you.
Appreciate that. We will probably need some rest here shortly, and I'm sure we don't mind helping clean up this mess.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll increase the discount I'll give you at your next time here.
Wonderful.
I just want to be clear, it's not going to be for free. I know that might have sounded like it, but it'll be less expensive. Just want to make sure we're on the same page.
I'll take what I can get after a near-death experience here, so I appreciate it. I feel like we should probably go upstairs and clear the area and clear the inn for you and make sure there aren't any other nasties running around here.
Yeah, absolutely. She kind of stands up and kind of like stretches out a little bit, tries to like get the stiffness out of her joints that have been tied up for who knows how long. Outside you hear another of thunder, and it seems to be just growing and loud. She kind of looks up, and you can kind of see in her face it doesn't bode really well. Can I have everyone roll a perception check for me as well? And I'll say Seducia, since you're closest, you can roll it at advantage. Okay. Also, remember, if you roll on D&D Beyond, I should be able to see your rolls. There we go. Perfect. Torn, 17 / 16. Nice.
14.
How much, Flux?
14.
14. Okay. Pretty much all of you. Torn / Seducius, I don't know what you got.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm rolling so high. I got 27. I think I'm doing something wrong, but whatever.
I mean, hey, it goes.
He's unusually high. Like, I don't understand.
That is kind of high. What is your perception?
That is really
bonus?
high.
Seducius. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, you rolled a natural 20. So that worked out well. Where are you rolling?
Is your
On my
perception
iPad.
+7?
On my iPad.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, your perception bonus is +7. So you rolled a natural 20 +7.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, and your persuasion bonus is +10. So for the most part, you're going to succeed on those types of rolls. So that makes sense. Yeah. So, hey, man, level 8. It's a level 8 bards. It's just the thing. You do all see Seducius. You're the first to notice it with a roll like that. And you can see that actually what she was put kind of like just thrown on top of seemed to be a bit of a treasure trove. You can actually see the glittering of some gold from some of the sacks within her. You also notice as she stands up, you hear like glass tinkling. You get the sense that whatever she was thrown upon in those sacks actually has some treasure inside of it.
Yo, Torn, I think there's some treasure here for you.
Perfect. Let's take a look.
So if you're opening it up pretty easily, you can get the sense they were not thinking that security was a big necessity down here with obviously one of their biggest places of power. So very easily findable is 500 gold pieces.
Nice.
5 potions of greater healing.
Hey.
A scroll of call lightning. And a ring that seems to be glittering with magical energy as well. Can I actually... Who's closest to Tiga? I think Torin, you probably... I think...
Where is Tiga on this map?
Tiga the
She's kind of...
thing?
She's kind of like near the bottom corner where Torin was, I recall. Who I think actually, Flux, you were trying to cut off her hand though, right? So I'll do this for Flux. Flux, you actually, as you're looking around as well, you see on Tiga's kind of like belt. She not only does she have like the weapons and things that she was using in her like gross hand and stuff, but kind of rolled up into her belt seems to be another thick piece of parchment, maybe another scroll. Are you?
I take.
You pick it up. Are you opening it?
Yes.
So you open it, unfurl it, and it looks to be a map of the Sword Coast, the area that you guys are in. And it's basically a map from the Mare of Dead Men, kind of where you guys were in the swamps all the way at the southern portion, all the way up to the city of Neverwinter. And on the top, it says, it's got like a little line. It says T, comma. You're assuming that means it's addressed to Tiga. And it says, Talos provides the vision for those who earn his call.
Is there anything else that's marked on there? Do I see any like distinguishing like X's or anything marking cities or areas?
You do see the cities that you notice of. Roll a perception check.
I got 10.
Nothing really stands out as anything more than a map.
Okay.
But this map is more detailed than what we already know, right?
I mean, it's
I'm looking at it.
It doesn't necessarily show more detail than you're expecting. It's a big view of the coast, so it's not like a zoomed in version of a particular city. You can see several places on the map. You see Leilon, you do see the Wayside Inn, you do see Phandalin, you do see Neverwinter. It's a pretty big stretch of the Sword Coast. Yeah, for the most part, like the map that I've shown you guys a few times. Let me load it up so you can see it here. For the most part, it's maybe not including so much of the inland area, but it's a pretty good detail from like Phandalin onto the coast and up to Neverwinter from the Mare of Dead Men. So it's a pretty good stretch of that whole space.
Are there any markings on it?
Just the mark,
Right.
just the ones of the cities that you recognize.
Okay.
And the inscription on the top of it.
Okay.
How are we? Did we divvy up the treasure? We have 5 spells of what was it?
5 potions of greater healing.
5 potions of greater healing.
Mm-hmm.
500 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm. And a scroll. On the scroll, it says it has the spell Call Lightning, which would stand to reason. And there is a ring that you could tell is magical, but as of yet you do not know what type. And 500 gold pieces. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we each get a
Well,
potion.
there's 5 of us,
We'll
so
each get 100 coin.
Cool.
And then we each get a potion.
Yep. So it just
and we
comes
should
down-
probably give Zendri the Call Lightning so she has Mjolnir.
Oh,
I mean, that's kind of rad.
that's kind of cool.
I'll add that into her inventory if you guys want to do the rest.
Does that scroll allow you just to use it once or something?
Basically, you do have to be a certain type of caster, but you gave it to her, so she's taking it, and she doesn't care. This is hers.
Okay.
And who wants
Is that
to
her
have
purring or something?
I think that ring on my
Yes.
tiki figure, dude, right on the claw.
You put it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Roll
I
a
was-
Arcana check for me.
I was literally thinking that it was like a shiny, like pimp ring that you just slap someone with. Slap someone.
Yeah, roll an Arcana check for me.
Rick James.
Alright, that was 7.
How much did you? A 7. So you do put it on, and as most magical rings go on, it kind of like sizes to the size of your pinky perfectly, which is strange because it was smaller when you had it in your other hand and you slipped it on it. It kind of fit your ring. As you slid it into your finger, it kind of tightened a little bit, and for a second you're like, "Oh fuck, what did I just do?" But it doesn't hurt. It just kind of finds like perfect purchase on your finger. It doesn't seem to have any specific effects that you could tell at this point.
Does he
Am I invisible?
disappear and go to Mordor?
Are you asking your teammates that?
Yeah, am I invisible?
No, we can still see you.
No, we can see you, bro.
Well,
And you
I
look
don't feel any
ridiculous.
special right now, so I don't know what this ring is doing. So, hopefully, nothing's too weird. We'll find out later, I guess.
Don't go all Gollum on us, man. We can't.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay. Well, yeah, I say I can't remember what the heck happened upstairs. If we came downstairs, we should probably check out if there's anything else lurking in the tavern.
So you guys go back upstairs, and Cray Underquill, the mage that you met, kind of heads back up with you. Fortunately, you did in the previous kind of session, you were able to clear out all of the cultists. You feel pretty confident about that.
Oh yeah.
Cray also confirmed that nothing else is really happening upstairs. That's where she was kind of hiding. And all of the cultists charged down for some reason that she didn't know. She found out later it was you guys killing them. So for the most part, the inn is empty and secure, but it doesn't seem peaceful because the storm outside is just loud as all get out. It feels like it's right on top of you.
Did we ever identify the bodies of the people that were like speared to the door?
You did not. You left all of them alone.
Okay. I wonder if Morticia's bard friend is one of those people.
Are you
I
going
thought
out?
we killed him. Didn't we kill the other like innkeeper?
You
that
did.
We met?
Yeah, you killed Bacchus, who was kind of like
Yeah.
Morticia's second in command of the inn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't the bard.
No.
Oh yeah.
I think we should go and check and see. Maybe bring Morticia with us because I don't remember. I don't think I remember what he looks like.
Yeah.
I just remember his annoying voice.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go out there and look with you. Honestly, I didn't realize they did that. So she seems a little stunned, and as she walks out the door, you kind of turn the corner and go outside and see these bodies of these people just impaled with tridents onto the wall of the trident of the inn. They're all dead at this point. None of them have survived. And she kind of just looks at them and she's like, I recognize these people. They were just residents. They were staying here at the inn. I guess they got in the way, or some foul sacrifice to Talos, I guess, based on the tridents. But I don't see Tarbin here.
When you were pirating back in the day, did you ever? It seems like you recognize some of this thunder. Have you ever encountered Talos and some of the things that we're experiencing right now?
I mean, never directly, and like another just. But she shares, this is definitely his handiwork. Out at sea, storms like these wouldn't be so uncommon, but we all recognize them as Talos' anger. This feels different, though. Less angry, more ominous? I don't know. More to come, it seems like. I don't know what this means for us here. But something is happening. I don't think we stopped whatever you were hoping to stop.
Yeah, we we heard a voice that made it clear that we did not stop anything, so I'm sure we'll find out what's coming here soon.
I think that's probably a good idea. She kind of swallows a bit and goes, kind of looks at the next like thunderclap, and she says, "I think I'll be going inside for a while." And she just goes back in the inn.
Well, shit. You guys want to look for that little annoying bard, or what?
We could,
we
but I also think at some point we should maybe take a long rest here while we have shelter, because I'm pretty wiped from that last battle.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing to do before we have any more battles.
Yeah, I have half my health, but I have like no spell slots left. So.
Well,
What's
sounds
that?
like
Is
you're
it
taking a
nighttime?
long rest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got here pretty late in the evening, so it's got to be at least middle of the night, if not
Even if it wasn't,
later.
we should just take a rest.
Yeah, it's time to rest.
All right, so you guys go inside. Ask Martisha for a place. She is happy to oblige. You notice she has not asked for payment yet. But she kind of walks upstairs. As she walks upstairs, she like opens one of the doors to one of the rooms, and it's just like flooded. It's like just rainwater has got in. There's a giant hole in the ceiling from some crazy lightning strike or other nonsense. She goes, "Well, I guess not this one." She goes, "Go to another room," and then open that one. That one has some more space. She goes, "I guess you guys can all bunk in here." Luckily, there are a couple of beds, some places on the floor to kind of set up, and you guys all cluster in together after a long hard fight to kind of bed down for the evening. It is relatively later in the day. It's probably like 6 p.m. now, 7 p.m. Do you guys want to do anything before you go officially to sleep?
Yeah.
No, I think just sleep would be good.
Yeah,
I need
I'm
to-
assuming the cost of the rooms depends on Seducius's performance, or what?
Oh, wow.
You don't know yet. She hasn't asked for it. She just kind of let you
We're
guys
in
in the room
trouble
and
then.
walked back downstairs.
We're in trouble then.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna cost extra.
He's shrinking as he's getting older.
I'm sure there's some magic elixir I can find to help with that.
You want to stick one of my pinky ring on it? See what happens?
Uh,
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Yeah, perfect.
No, let's just get some rest so we can wake up in the
Alright,
morning.
that's fine.
all right, if
I
you
mean,
guys...
you can
some
still
food.
slip it on me if you want to. So.
Well, we can take a nap together, dude. Yeah, I guess.
Oh gosh.
It's actually the magical ring of Little Spoon. It's great. You always need a Little Spoon. It's just the way the ring works. I don't know what else to tell you. All right. Well, if you guys don't want to do anything else for the evening, go ahead and hit long rest.
Hey.
And you all wake in the early morning, almost right before dawn. The sun is just starting to crest the horizon. Scarily enough, the thing that wakes you all up is more thunder. The storm, even from last night, this just like always present storm clouds are still there. And they seem to be roiling and growing larger. And you're getting the sense that this thing is not going away. And whatever this ritual was created this really crazy storm front that is maybe permanent, maybe not. You're not sure. But it is very concerning the storm has lasted this long. So you've, I guess, got a couple of choices. If you're thinking of going after Tarbin, you really don't know which way he went because you kind of gave him a pretty clear shoo off. You can head back to Leilon, see what's been happening there. It's been a couple of weeks since you've been in that area. You've got this map you can try to suss out. There might be people in Leilon that maybe can help you figure that out. Kind of up to you. Or Phandalin that maybe can help you figure out more of it.
I
Yeah.
remember. The town of the tower Are we like not even close to that now? With the like 2 towers, the one with the spooky one.
The Tower of Storms. You're relatively close to it.
There's nothing to do there though, right? We're done there.
Yeah, you pretty much cleared it out and killed the dude that was there before, so you feel confident. You could always go back and check it out if you wanted to see what was happening.
No, I think we're good there. I just feel like there was so much to do there, and then we kind of like dominated it, I guess.
Yeah, the Tower of Storm was a place of Talos worship. It was one of the first places you kind of encountered Talos. You kind of killed the dude that was running it, so to speak, and lifted the curse that was there. But you could always check it out again if there's more you want to find or try.
If I look up at the sky, like, can I see like an eye of the storm or any like focal point of this thing, or is it just kind of like endless up there?
Roll a perception check or a survival check. I'll let you choose.
Okay, I'm gonna do it on the Mac and see if you can see it.
For sure. Yeah, I see it. Nothing really stands out. It's a very unnatural storm. You could tell that very easily. One, it's odd that it's on this early in the morning. It definitely feels magical or summoned in nature, if just huge. But you can't see if there's a source necessarily. It is dominating the coastline, and where you guys are, you're really only maybe 5-6 miles away from the coast. So you've got a pretty good view, and it is everywhere within sight, coming in from the coast. You do, as you look further south, you can see it starting to come over Leilon as expected. The Tower of Storms is even visible anymore at this point. It's obviously covered, but hard to tell if there is a source of this place.
Okay.
I mean, is anybody in town? I guess we could ask people if there's anybody in the inn, like if they've ever seen a storm like this before.
You could probably ask Morticia. She's really the only person with Cray left alive at the inn.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of asked her already, but we can ask her, see if she knows anything else.
What are you asking her?
I mean, I guess it's probably not a point in asking her. Like, even if she's like, I've never seen this storm like this before. Like, it's not gonna change anything.
She did share with Seducius before you guys went to sleep that like this clearly seems to be like Talos driven, and that like sailors' tales and things that she's seen usually like this type of storm comes from Talos when he's enraged. But that this doesn't feel like it was something he's doing out of anger. This seems like there's a bigger piece that's happening. It feels more ominous, as if more is to come. Because while it's there and still very present, the storm is there, the clouds are there, there's thunder in them, it doesn't seem to be like damaging the landscape, so to speak. It's not like it was when it was like this giant wall of wind that kept you from the inn. It's just this ever-present looming kind of storm front.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Morticia something then. Morticia, good morning. How are you feeling, by the way, after last night?
Well, I didn't get much sleep. You guys went to bed pretty early and left all the corpses, so... But I hired a new employee, so I guess that's good. Cray is gonna stay here for a little bit, so...
That's good. I promise you we will help clean up. We just have a little bit of investigating to do on this crazy storm that's happening.
Very kind of you to offer to help clean up after. You can easily see that I've cleaned up everything, so...
Okay, well, listen, we're headed out to try and investigate this storm. Have you seen anyone maybe has come through here with any similar kind of like tattoos or anything anyone you could kind of point us in the right direction, maybe investigate Talos and this storm?
I mean, these people have been coming here for a while now. Where they've gone, I don't know. What they talked about, I don't know. I mean, if they're cultists of Talos, let's see what she would know. Yeah. Likely they have, I guess, a base of operations or a headquarters of some type somewhere along the coast, usually hidden among caves. That's pretty common for Talos worshippers. Them being this far inland is very strange, and whatever their machinations are, I couldn't tell you. Typically, their cultists and worshippers would have a hidden base somewhere close to the coast, somewhere hidden among some of the sea caves, but I couldn't tell you where. They never made mention of anything like that. I don't know. I saw one of you pick up a map from Tiga, perhaps that had it located on it.
Yeah, that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask you before we head out. Is we did find a map. Maybe we could show it to you and see if any of these markings on there makes any sense to you, because it doesn't to us right now.
She kind of looks at the map and reads it. Nothing on this seems normal or unusual. I mean, I have a suspicion that the phrase on the top is the clue. But, I don't know. Talos isn't one who usually gives people vision, so that's odd.
Interesting.
I have something to ask.
Sure.
Martisha, when you were tied up in that basement area, or before this whole ritual even started, when you knew that they were up to no good, did you overhear anything about their plans and what they were trying to do? Or what their next steps were? Had they actually succeeded and we not,
I mean,
I know
the crazy ramblings of cultists, they're planning to take over, Talos be praised, blah, blah, blah. They mentioned Tarbin's name. They were looking for him. He wasn't here at the time.
and you don't know why?
They wanted to take him. They didn't say why. No, I didn't hear. Tiga did mention something about Phandalin, and sending someone there. I don't know. You guys came from that way, though, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Did you run into anyone there?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Maybe they had the map on them. Did you find anything?
No.
Yeah, then I don't know if I would be of much help. If you ended whatever the threat was in Phandalin and didn't find anything on them, that would lead you in the right direction. I don't know if I would have much more insight for you.
Do you know where Tarbin might go? How close were you with him?
Not very. I was just an employee. It was just someone I hired to entertain the guests. I really couldn't tell you why the cult of Talos would be interested in him. He seemed to take a fancy to you lot, but it seemed like you perturbed him. He did mention Leilon. He would follow you, but I don't think he actually ever went in that direction. He seemed rather off-put from whatever conversation you had. So I don't know. Perhaps you know someone else in Leilon, though, that would know more of this than I would.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. I think we're gonna head out, Morticia. Yeah. Where do you guys want to go? Yeah. Do you guys want to go back to the tower and see if anything is there? It's along the coast, which is, I guess,
Yeah.
go off of.
Maybe. I think a lot of signs are pointing for us to go back to Leilon, to be honest. I think we need to find Tarbin to figure out what he knows and why would they be after him.
Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm down with going back there to investigate.
So wait, that map, it said something about vision, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we get those glasses from that after that fight in Phandalin?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good
And
memory.
they were like Luna Lovegood type of glasses, like spacey and psychedelic and almost like 3D glasses.
Yep.
Dang. Look at you.
Wait, who has those? Was that me or I can't remember who has those.
You were torn.
I think it was Torin.
Got glasses and a ring. What's going on over there? Dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Identity crisis.
I don't know if we
No.
officially added him to your inventory, but I think you're the one that picked him up, Tor.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That might have been after you had to bounce out when we killed Valina, if I remember her name right.
Yeah. I
So
wonder if that has anything. I bet you they're correlated.
You do have
I wonder
him,
if Tarp.
let me put them on and look at the map.
Yeah, put them on and look at the map.
so you put them on, you look at the map. As soon as you put them on, you notice that there are now X's all over the map. Many of them, and they all say, in writing too, under where it kind of has the little address to Tiga, it says potential Talos shrines. You kind of see them all marked out. It looks like this is an invasion map almost of places where they're planning to take over. There is one circled on the coast. Let me just make sure I'm giving you the right directions on where you see it.
This feels like national treasure right here. Putting the glasses on, see the map.
So on the kind of the coast, there's an area where like you can kind of see now the drawing is of like little cliffs kind of like penciled in. About halfway between the Mirror of Dead Men and the City of Neverwinter. So it's almost halfway between this map, a little bit north of the Tower of Storms. And it says underneath it in handwriting, Thunder Cliffs. It is the only place that is written in this space. Torin, can you roll a survival check as you're studying this map and where this place is?
Yeah. Oh. 6.
You're not really certain. Certainly traveling by sea is not something you're accustomed to. You can kind of gauge, though, based on the way the drawing is put on there, getting to this place by land is going to be difficult, if not impossible. Getting it to by sea may be easier, but you're going to need to figure out who can get you to it. The way it's situated in this map, the way it's kind of drawn in, it's going to need some type of specific skill set, likely on someone who can actually navigate a seafaring vessel to get there. But you're not 100% sure of how to do that yourself.
Do you think we have to destroy all the shrines to stop this storm?
Like Horcruxes?
Yeah, or would that not make a difference?
I mean, maybe, but I feel like what we've been taught so far with all these battles we've been in is go for the jugular, right? Kill the thing that starts the thing that gives the thing power.
Yeah.
And if that's the only place that has actual like nomenclature of where it is and it's properly identified, that's probably where we're supposed to go, and that's probably the root of all this evil. Who do we know that owns a ship? I mean, there's a plenty of seafaring people in Leilon, right?
Roll a history check if you're proficient, or you can do just a straight intelligence check.
Okay.
It should be pretty easy to remember, so it won't be a very hard check, though. Just to put that out there in the world.
Yes. That would be a 3.
Yeah, you're not really sure. You don't remember. I will say your instincts do still feel right that Leilon is a city that's built on the coast for a purpose. Of the places that you've been, that might be the only place you would know of someone that would be seafaring of some type.
Okay. Well, I think we need to head back to Leilon to get some resources and some more information, and maybe while we're there, we can find Torben.
Yeah, let's check it out.
You guys down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch that little bastard be hiding in the freaking haunted tower.
So you guys make your way out of the Wayside Inn. Martisha and Cray basically give you thanks and share. You notice again that Martisha has not asked for payment. Maybe that's her nicest gesture she can give you, given Martisha's typical demeanor. They kind of see you off. Typically from the Wayside Inn to Leilon takes maybe a day's worth of travel. With how difficult the storm has made things, the winds that are blowing randomly, having to walk slowly for the intermittent rain, it actually takes you another 2 days to get to Leilon. Travel is very difficult. Seeing in front of you at times can go from okay visibility to none, as the clouds kind of set and settle. You guys are consistently looking up as you hear these just loud booming thunderclaps. Sometimes you don't even see clouds, but you hear the thunder, and it's alarming and arresting, and it really slows down your travel. But you do eventually come to see Leilon off in the distance, as you noticed it before. But this time it's been almost 2 weeks. Yeah, actually almost 3 weeks since you've been here. The journey to Phandalin took a while. It took almost actually a little over a week with the interjections and having to get the goats there safely. You stayed in the town for several days to kind of figure out what was going on. Had another difficult trek back to the Wayside Inn where you got stuck for a few days. So it's been, almost 3 weeks since you've been back in Leilon. It's been a while. You can tell this even through the storm that the town has built up quite a bit. Most of the broken buildings have been completed. The palisade around it has been finished. A lot of places in the area have really been finished and made whole. And as you approach, one of the first things that you notice is the little camp that the council members had outside has been much reduced. Now most people are living inside the actual city itself, inside the city proper, as it's been fixed. Most of the homes and residences have been able to kind of sustain people. There are still some tents out there. They seem to be mostly for the guardsmen. And also some of the bigger kind of day-to-day tasks that are still happening. Currently, you do actually see a group of people outside one of the bigger tents. It's usually where they were holding council meetings. And there seems to be a bit of an argument happening as you kind of walk up closer. And as you approach kind of closer, kind of trying to figure out what's going on, you actually see one of the council members, Marigold, the the halfling kind of priest of Lathander, who is opening his own temple to Lathander in Leilon, is arguing with several other people, two of which you recognize to be Calvin and Hobbs, the new worshippers of Bahamut. Calvin and Hobbs that Flux had kind of helped bring into the light of Bahamut. And they are arguing about something that you kind of see from afar, but you can't tell what at this distance yet. It seems to be very heated.
Time to go walk up there and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna hustle my way up there.
So you do get closer, and as you get closer, you can kind of see that they're there. Calvin is basically like holding back Hobbs. Hobbs is like yelling. Calvin, being mute, is really not speaking, but you can tell he's pretty aggressive as well in this, but doesn't want it to come to blows. Marigold is not the fighting type, but he is also, strangely enough, very also kind of hostile in his demeanor. They're shouting at each other, and you can hear Hobbs basically saying, whatever you're doing isn't enough. If this is the issue that it's there, we actually have to muster our sources and start fighting whatever this evil is. And he's pointing at the clouds and kind of shouting above it. Calvin seems to be agreeing with this. He's nodding emphatically, although he's trying to stop people from getting that close to each other. You can tell that there's other folks that are worshiping Lathander that are starting to kind of like try to protect Marigold as he's getting shouted out. You hear Marigold throwing back, like, this isn't our purview. These aren't the things that we're doing. We need to worship Lathander in the way that he's asked us to. And whatever this upstart shrine you think that you're creating here, it's not wise to create a new army. And they're all just kind of fighting with each other over these things.
Whoa. Calvin, Hobbs, Marigold. What the hell is going on? What are you guys fighting over?
You know what's going on. You brought this here. Marigold now starts shouting at you. I offered you sanctuary and a shrine, and now there are dozens of your followers here in our town. And look at them, all of them, thinking they could just go run off and fight evil. That's great and well, but we have responsibilities and work here.
Whoa! Hold on a second. First of all, there's nothing wrong with fighting evil. Second of all, you cannot put all of this on me or my followers. So I'm going to need you to take it down a notch. All right?
I demand that you call off your. I demand that you call off whatever nonsense is happening here, and you remind them what they committed themselves to when they agreed to settle Leilon. I could care less who they worship.
City. We're not fighting. We're going to take this down a notch. I'm going to need you. Hey, guys, can you take him back, please? I need to talk to Calvin and Hobbs. All right? I'm going to need you to chill out.
Roll a persuasion check. Or an intimidation check if you're trying to be more menacing.
I'll do persuasion, I think.
Wait, choke him out?
No joke.
I got a 10.
So he rolled a 6, so it's not going to help too much anyway. So he does kind of like, whatever. You just handle this, or whatever shrine you've created here will no longer be welcome in Leilon. You were under certain stipulations. And he kind of like huffs off with his people.
We've saved you before. We can do it again. Relax.
And he kind of
anyway.
He gives you like a grunted nod. It's weird to see such an aggressive halfling. And he kind of walks off with his group. The rest of his people kind of walk off into their tent, and you see them head back into town as well, and head towards the Temple of Lathander that they have since completed. It is quite nice and tall, and almost as tall as the House of Thalavar that you kind of had to go through and clear out. But you are now with a sizable group of Bahamut worshippers, led by Calvin. His second seems to be Hobbs, of course.
Gentlemen, hi Calvin. It's good to see you. I know you're a man of really no words, but Hobbs, can you fill me in? How did this all start? What's going on?
So Calvin kind of looks at Hobbs, and he seems a little disappointed in the way that you've kind of leaned on Hobbs. But Hobbs does kind of share and kind of looks at Calvin, gives him a nod, and he says, This is what Bahamut has been preparing us for. If evil is around, we need to be ready to face it. That's what you said. So we've been building and training and teaching ourselves to be resolute warriors in the honor of the Platinum Dragon, and we did that. And we think it's shameful that these so-called pious assholes think that they can just do nothing when clearly something evil is happening. Which, by the way, do you know what's happening?
Oh yeah, we've seen the storms. We know what's happening. But let me ask a little bit more. How did this particular fight start? What boiled over? You guys, did you try to reach out to them? Were they giving you trouble first? What happened?
He kind of like rolls his eyes and looks at Calvin, and Calvin goes, he kind of like takes his little slip out that he's got. You actually notice, by the way, that before that was happening, Calvin was kind of like using some hand motions to signal some things to the other people. It seems like this group of Bahamut worshippers have devised their own form of sign language as well. But he does get a sheet out for you and kind of write with you. Hobbs said some things not nice. Hobbs kind of looks a little bit ashamed and says, well, whatever, they had it coming. And he kind of withdraws a little bit.
Hobbs, I appreciate your passion and your willingness to want to bring peace and justice to the world, but we have to try to remain civil, and making enemies in this time is not the best way to do that. So, what do you have to say for yourself?
He kind of grumbles under his breath, and he says, well, Bahamut says that when righteous fury is necessary, there is no allowance for weak minds. And he kind of gruffs and walks off.
Oh, poor guy. Anyway.
Roll an insight check for me.
Ah, goodness. Okay. 10.
You can't put your finger on it, but whatever he said just seemed troubling.
Yeah.
A little
Gotta keep my eye on that
overzealous
one.
for some reason.
Yeah, a little bit. All right. Well, Calvin, how have the rest of the townspeople been in our absence? We haven't been here in a few weeks.
Kind of gives you like a little. Okay, good. Kind of writes off. Lots of new building. Most places completed. Fishing trade has finally started. Valdi is happy.
Awesome. Well, have you noticed anyone new and different arrive, or anybody suspicious come through this town in the last couple of weeks? I know you've run the inn and everything. Any new visitors that we should be aware of?
And he writes same old, same old.
Okay.
Until the storms.
And when exactly did the storm start for you guys here?
Only like 2 days ago.
Okay. Well, this is troubling, but we're here to kind of get to the bottom of all of this, and I think we know what to do to solve all of this. But I just really want to thank you for getting all these followers together and trying to keep the peace. But
he's
we
like
should keep it
gesturing that he wants you to follow him.
Yeah, all right. Come on, guys. Let's go follow Calvin.
So Calvin kind of walks you through the city and back to the inn that he's kind of built. It's kind of that little back area that you guys made. The inn is pretty much completely finished. It's really well made. You get the sense that Calvin is not just an innkeeper and administrator. He must have some work like talent in carpentry, because like the wood is really well designed. You can tell the banister that he finished for the stairs. He actually carved it in the shape of a dragon. He's really proud of it. Like he's like showing you all like the really wonderful work that he's put into this inn in the last few weeks, and how he's really made it finished and nice. And you can even see that there's like carved dragon heads and dragon imagery in a lot of different places. And as he walks you into the inn, that space where you kind of just like found a like old abandoned building behind it has actually been connected and closed off. And it's much more of like a nice chapel now. And inside of it are actually 3 other people there, which is odd. There's not that many people in this town, and having someone in a building consistently speaks volumes. And they're just there worshiping, reading with each other. You can tell somehow they sourced books on Bahamut. They've put effort into this religious doctrine and establishing this faith here.
Wow.
If he can build us a boat.
Yeah, right?
And he just kind of hears you and laughs, and he goes, but he does write in letters like, boat, Valdi.
Yeah, we need a boat.
Valdi. And he's like pointing to
Valdi.
Valdi.
We need to go see Valdi. Well, Calvin, this is incredible. I'm so impressed, and I'm just like in awe of the work that you've done. I didn't know that you were this skilled in carpentry. This is amazing.
And he kind of signals something to you, and like you kind of see like his wrists kind of lock up and kind of go high, and it kind of like comes up almost in like a salute, and he writes it and he says Bahamut, and he's like doing the symbol again, showing you like this is the salute that they kind of came up with, mostly so that they could speak with him and he could converse without having to rely so much on his stuff. And you notice that he's doing the same to the others. When he does it, they mirror it. He's basically created like a little church of Bahamut in this place, that has also like taken the time to really learn how to communicate with each other so that he can kind of lead this as well. So you see a lot of these changes in the last 3 weeks have happened really around this.
He wants to marry you, Flux.
I'm getting that feeling too, and I don't hate it.
He kind of blushes and is like,
It's okay. It's okay.
Well,
That allowed
he's
him.
like, at least take me to dinner first. Like,
I'll give you some advice. I know some of her weak spots.
No. He knows nothing about me. Thank God. Well, you said Valdi. We should go see Valdi. Well, we do have some more things to take care of, and hopefully we can be the ones to put an end to all of this troubling stuff with all the evil and the clouds and everything. This storm is disgusting. So, maybe when we get back, you can teach me a little bit more about your communication style that you've created.
And he kind of like does a couple other hand gestures and kind of writes on, and he says, "It would be a privilege." And he like does it again. He's like showing you little by little like some symbols.
Cool.
I don't know what's going on here, but
I think we need to go see.
He looks at Seducius, by the way, and like makes a couple of really like abrupt hand gestures. And like he's writing something down like on this like new sheet of paper that he's got on there, and he's like hiding it clearly from Flux, but Seducius, you can see it, and he says, "Yo, man, stop it! Shut up!"
Let me be smooth, bro.
All right. Well, unless you two have any other business to figure out, I think we should head out of here.
Yeah. The sooner we can leave, the sooner we can get back. Am I right, Calvin?
Ooh.
Yeah, Flux is gonna go save the world for us, so we gotta go. We gotta go.
As per usual.
He makes the other symbol to Bahamut as you guys kind of walk out. You do it back. Kind of like gives you like a nod, like yep,
awkwardly.
Nailed it. And you guys leave this little shrine growing church to Bahamut that's in the space, and you go out. You do know who Valdi is. You've talked to her a few times. She is also one of the Triune Council members that kind of run Leilon in the stead of Lord Neverwinter, who kind of sent it to here. And she was actually the one who was kind of in charge of the commerce and the trade for Leilon, specifically because it's a coastal town and their trade is fishing. She is definitely someone that would know how to acquire a vessel and would probably be able to point you in the right direction if you were trying to go somewhere at sea. Just based on what you remember about her.
Do that.
Cool. So you guys kind of
Boat.
backtrack a little bit and go to the councilman's tent, where you kind of expect to find her. You do find her in the tent, kind of sitting there going through some paperwork, and you recognize her, dark-haired, half-elf woman, kind of a little bit older. You know her to have a not mean, but almost like a callous, crude sense of humor. Very down-to-earth person, though. And so when she sees you, she kind of greets you with a little nod and says, "Oh, welcome back. I guess you finally returned from your adventures. Looks like you brought the weather with you."
Yes, we did.
We didn't bring that, but we're gonna try and fix this for all of us.
That'd be great. It's not great for fishing, and as you can tell, that's kind of important here.
Yeah, we're gonna go investigate. Hopefully, the source of this craziness. But we need a boat in order to get to our destination.
Well, there's not one in this tent.
Well, something I love is a good sense of humor. Do you know where we could find a boat, perhaps?
There's always an ask, isn't there? Why do adventurers just think that like I just have shit ready at hand? In either case, it does actually turn out I could probably help you out. Here's the challenge: none of the fishing boats we have out here are really made for that type of travel. Do you know where you're going? Is it nearby? What's the?
Yeah, Flux. Show her the map.
So she kind of looks at the map and she's like, "This is just a fucking map of the Sword Coast."
I need to take my glasses off and let her put them on.
We know.
So you kind of like shove them on her face and she's like, "Okay, down, boy." Fuck, Dragonborn. In either case, so she kind of looks at it and she says, "Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. Well, I guess this is like the most obvious fucking secret map I've ever seen. So you guys are going to the Thundercliffs then?"
To the Thundercliffs.
Okay. Well, you know, anyone worth their salt knows a little bit about that place out at sea. That's an old smuggler's den. It makes sense someone's hiding up there. Getting there is pretty treacherous, though. It's meant as a smuggler's den because getting through the reefs is pretty dangerous. A lot of shipwrecks happen there. I've heard some rumors that some of the normal folks that head that place, though, have had even more trouble. Yeah, none of the fishing boats we have here will get you there. She kind of ponders off a little bit. She says, but I might know of a couple of folks. I can send a few messages out. Might take them a couple days to get here, but I know of a few folks that are still kind of in the waters nearby and would, maybe be up to a hard job if you don't mind a little bit of, let's say, rough and tumble crew.
Sounds like our kind of folk.
Yeah, I've worked with them in the past, though. I think they can do it. They could, like I said, they could probably be here with their ships in a couple days. Last I remember where they were out. Might take you, in this weather, maybe even a week to get out there, a 10-day.
Oh. Well, yeah, I think we don't have any other choice. So we would definitely appreciate you sending out any messages you can.
Okay.
Unless I swim there by myself.
I mean, you could turn into a shark, I'm sure.
Go for it. No, just kidding. I think we should get to the ship.
So she kind of continues and shares. Yeah, like I said, I'll put a coast out. She gets like one of her assistants, and you kind of see her kind of write something on a piece of paper and hand it to the assistant. The assistant, strangely enough, doesn't leave the tent. He just turns around and like kind of reads the message out loud. And the assistant kind of like stops, kind of like cocks his head to the side a little bit, and then hands it back and says, Christophson said he'll be here shortly. He said he needs a day or two. And then she says, I got one more for you, and writes it down on a piece of paper, hands it to him. This isn't does a turn thing. Takes a step, turns around, reads it out loud, and then kind of waits for a message. Waits a little longer. Is about to turn around, and right before he turns around, he goes, Stans and Tar got back to me. She sounded inebriated, but she said she'd be here. She said she'd be here in about a day. So she kind of like rips up the paper, throws it on the ground, throws it away. And then Valdi kind of looks and you goes, well, you heard it. They'll be here in a day. So you can talk to them both and decide which one you wanna use for this, I guess.
What just happened?
What kind of sorcery is that?
What?
It's just
What kind of black magic hell is that?
pretty simple message spell. I mean, I don't cast magic, so I need to rely on people that do. I mean, I've seen you guys do magic shit before. This isn't new.
We've just never seen it used in such a intriguing way. I'm impressed.
I guess if you find secretarial work intriguing, that says a lot about you, but that's fine.
I find a lot of it intriguing. A lot.
Well, I really don't know how to answer that, Caduceus. I get the sense you just are agreeable with everything.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Mostly. Okay, well, thank you for those messages. What else we need to do here, guys? Gals?
We can try and find Tarbin.
I forget what he looks like. Little annoying bastard.
Yeah.
Typical bard. Big mouth.
Yeah.
Thinks he's better at everything. So as you guys start to leave the tent, she kind of pauses for a second. And she's like, Torin, can I have a word with you in private?
Sure.
I noticed when you shoved the glasses on my face, the ring that you have seems a little unique. I'd like to buy it from you.
It's not for sale.
Do you even know what it does?
Do you?
I do.
What does it do?
Well, the reality is I know what it does. It's worth something to me. And I'd be hesitant to share that with you if I think it'll reduce the chance of you selling it to me. Right now, all it's worth to you is money. If you don't know its purpose.
How much are you thinking?
I'd say 750 gold.
That's it? No way, dude.
No deal, Bob.
Dude, this is the ring of power, dude. It can.
I've heard of such rumors among halfling communities. I can tell you those things don't exist. What I can tell you is the ring that you do have exists, and the price I'm giving you is truthfully more than fair. You've known me to be a trustworthy person, if a bit crass, but it would be worth it to me.
I feel like we might need it in this storm fight.
I could hint that it may come in use, yes.
Why don't you come with us and I'll sell it to you after?
That's a funny joke. I'm not the what's the nice way to put this? Well, fuck it, there is no nice way to put this. I'm not stupid enough to be an adventurer.
Fair enough.
It's not quite as let's see, economically sound as my current profession, and it doesn't require me to get eaten by spiders.
I'm not worried about spiders. Only this seducious over here is.
Spiders.
Well, let me make you a counter offer then. If you won't sell it to me, perhaps I can sell you information. I know what that does. If you're willing to pay me, I can tell you.
I'll give you 10 gold.
10
Wow.
gold for information is quite paltry, but I won't make it too expensive. You guys have done a lot for the community here. Why don't we say 50 gold pieces?
Alright, that's fair. I'll give you 50 gold. You tell me what this does and get us to this boat.
So she takes the money from you. Just make sure you remove that from that. That is a ring of water walking.
Ooh, I can walk on water now?
Water
It's a
walk.
Jesus ring?
Jesus ring.
And there are, while yes, that is true, you can use it to walk upon the water.
Float other things?
It is useful in other creative ways. I'll let you figure those out.
Okay, that's fair. I think we should go to the shoreline. We could just start practicing some stuff.
Yeah, you've got a couple of days before my friends arrive. You certainly have some time to try it out.
Might not need them if I can get across.
Well, from what I can tell, the Thundercliffs are still several miles away. And walking, while helpful on top of the water, doesn't stop you from drowning, I guess.
Or I could turn alligator.
I guess that's fair.
I'm good.
What a feat.
Alright, guys. Well, I'll still sell it to you after if you want. I'll give you a good price. 600. See if it's useful. It might be broken. We don't even know yet.
Okay.
I don't even know if I can get off my finger, to be honest.
That's fine. If you'd like to take less than what I originally offered you, that's totally fine.
Yeah, did you mean to do that?
Well, dude, if I use it, it's like gonna be worn down, dude. It's not gonna be any good.
What?
I'm starting to understand why you didn't recognize what you put on your finger in the first place.
Oh, wow.
We'll figure it out when we get back, dude. I don't know. I had a few drinks this morning.
So
Well,
wait. Who
I'll try
among
the
us
750.
knows how to detect magic? Or detect,
well,
magical things?
detect magic. Probably several of you. That would tell you if something is around you that's magical.
Oh. Gotcha.
You can try to suss out at least what something does with an Arcana check, although that might not give you all the detail. If you want like an empirical way to know how to like understand what something is without already seeing it or coming in contact, there is a spell called Identify that some people might have access to that you could cast, and it would basically tell you what a magical object does in full.
Mm.
But I will send you the details of what the Ring of
And
Water
how to
Walking
use it.
does.
Because I'm wondering, like... Okay. Because I'm like, do we need a certain spell? Do we have to have some sort of other accoutrement to make it work? I don't know.
You don't know, but
I say we just get out in the middle of the water and just push Torin off the boat and see what happens.
yeah,
We might need this.
Yeah.
you guys have some time if you'd like to do that. You got a couple of days or so before.
That's it. Is there a pond around here or something? Something
Well, you
small?
guys are on the basically on the marshes at this point. You could get to a body of water within steps.
And it's also been storming, so I'm sure there's puddles everywhere.
Do you know how I can activate this ring?
Yes, I do. Hold on one second for me. Just want to get.
You have to kiss the ring.
It's the Pope. It's like a Don Corleone, like.
Okay, I'm gonna send you this. Actually, I'll just put it in your inventory. That'll be easier, so you can just see it. Torin, manage equipment. Alrighty, sir. It is currently in your inventory. Alright, so it will tell you what exactly you need to do, which in this case is nothing. Just have it on.
You won't drown.
Yeah, I can basically just walk.
So you guys go out to kind of like where the swamp was that you like originally had to fight those water elementals, and it's like a good like 3 or 4 feet deep. It's not super deep, so you feel pretty safe testing it out. You guys all kind of wait out there. All of you are kind of like waiting for Torin to walk in, and Torin walks in, and he's literally walking on top of the water. It's not even like sinking a little bit. It's just like he's walking on it as if it was solid rock.
Whoa.
So he's probably like a few feet above you now, looking down as you guys are underneath, like about maybe up to your waists in this swampy water.
Dang, that's crazy.
Hey, Torin, try to run.
Okay.
Roll a athletics check for me.
Who's gonna face plant in the water?
Have to concentrate when you're running.
So you run. The first few steps are a little like, oh, this is weird. It feels a little bit different than walking on actual ground. And you kind of stumble a little bit, but you catch yourself, and you're actually able to run like at a pretty normal clip. You're not going any slower than you normally would.
Wow, that's cool.
I wonder if you could like manipulate the water.
Here, can I grab
Yeah.
one of you guys and pick you up and try to walk?
Roll another athletics check for me.
Put me on your back.
Sure.
Yeah, you pick who are you picking up?
Flux.
So you get up Flex. She's kind of heavy with her armor, but you are able to like muscle her up. And you're supporting her weight. You haven't sunk into the water at all.
Yeah. Cool.
Dang.
So I wonder if there's like, yeah, like what Craig said, like manipulating other bodies of water. So maybe not larger bodies of water, but I'm thinking of like, moisture in general. Like, can you manipulate clouds? I mean, it's, yeah.
I can shape water. Basically,
So you're like a water bender.
Make a statue
Yeah.
out of the water.
it's only within a 5 feet cube. Though. It's really small. It's like, it's not like I can part the sea. You know what I'm saying?
And
Right.
that's from, just for point of clarity with them, because I think they're asking if that's from the ring. That's just from your regular druid abilities.
Right. That's my regular. I have a shape water thing. The ring itself just lets me walk. That's all.
Just let you walk.
Yeah, I have something called shape water that lets me manipulate like 5 feet of water. Basically, it's like
Cool.
I don't know what I'd use that for, to be honest. But
I mean, like I said, there are several creative uses of what you could do with the ring of water walking and the ability to manipulate water.
yeah, I mean, we could technically get like a boat, and I could like pull it, maybe.
But I mean, depending how big the boat is, like a rowboat, sure.
With y'all in it or something. Can I shapeshift and then still keep the ring on? Or do I have to be in my normal form?
So whenever you shapeshift, your items basically like absorb into you.
Okay.
It doesn't really say exactly what happens to the magic items you're wearing, so I will allow them to be in effect or not. And if you don't want the Ring of Water Walking to be active, like as an example, you're trying to test it, you take it off as you're on top of the water, and you just fall into the water a little bit, and you put it back on, like while you're underwater, and you shoot up like a torpedo, just like almost like you ever like. Yeah, like you ever try to hold like a bottle underwater or something, and you let it go and it just shoots to the top? It's the same thing. Like you literally breach the surface until you're on top of it, like you are on solid ground, and you get some lift. Like the deeper you go, you get this suspicion you'll like go even faster.
Right up. Dang. My thought was I could shift into something swimming and bigger, but or not even swimming, just bigger. We could just go across.
Why don't you shapeshift into an alligator, just swallow us, swim to the shore, and then spit us out?
Oh boy.
Jonah the whale.
How big of an alligator do you think you would turn into?
Alligators get pretty big. Have you seen them?
Have you seen them?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of crocodiles.
I think regardless, I think you're thinking of like some terribly 80s like horror movie.
Sci-fi original.
Godzilla over here.
Was it live inside his stomach?
That was a whale.
Yeah, it was a whale, darling. Monstro, right? Monstro the whale.
Monstro the whale.
Yeah.
Monstro. It's it says it took you a couple days to get here. It's getting later into the day, probably like late afternoon now at this point. Anything you guys want to do while you're waiting for Valdi's friends to arrive?
Do we have any other thoughts on how we could use this, get across? I just can't lift a lot of stuff, or I can't like. I don't know how it's gonna. I don't know how it's going to really help too much, besides me running across to the island on the other side. It might help us in the trenches if it gets nutty or something, but...
Yeah, or if Talos takes some kind of a form, if that's a thing he does, maybe we'll have to fight him in open waters.
Yeah, and who knows, like I wonder if you're able to pass that ring to each of us at different times of battle, like what our own like capabilities mixed with this ring can do as like a multi-layered attack, a multifaceted attack.
Yeah. What if I do I have a spell tidal wave, I shoot up a tidal wave and just stand on top of it and shoot myself.
Yeah, that's dope.
We can do some crazy stuff, bro.
Like I said, when I say creative uses, I mean there are no. You could do a lot. Yeah, you could
test
really do a lot.
Why don't we test it?
I don't know. It's a spell slot.
Yeah, don't wait to spell slot.
Oh.
I mean, you guys are about to take a rest, etc.
Yes, I'm also thinking about using a scroll of lightning and electrocuting the water or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Should be pretty dope.
Now you're thinking it through.
Huh. I guess we don't have to do anything right now. Anyway, we could just wait till they're here. Get a boat, go across, and see how we could use it.
For scale,
go across without them, right?
Yeah, just for scale. So
we don't know how to get there necessarily.
I mean, you can kind of see it on the map, though. You can tell that it's probably about
for whatever that other annoying bard is.
It's probably about 30 miles until Thundercliffs. So it's even by sea, and that's just a straight shot. Like if you're trying to go by sea, it's probably going to be more. And what's happened?
It's easy.
It was mad at me. Just totally stuck.
There you are.
Hey, it came back.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. So Thundercliffs, if you're going in like a straight line, just as the bird flies, it's still probably about 30 miles away from Leilon. And again, by boat, like the typically fastest thing on the sea is still going to take you about a week to get there, and a week in this time is 10 days. So it's not a fast trek to get there. So just some things to consider if you're thinking about scale.
We should just wait for them and then from there.
Yeah.
Cool.
We were also talking about how anyone like Harbin, Tarbin, both annoying. So you should just make that a pattern, and anyone with an Arbin, like Barbin, Zarbin,
Yeah.
just make that. They'll all be annoying.
Yeah. Craig Arbin.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Sidarbin.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So you guys, sounds like you're kind of winding down. The next couple days pass. You kind of notice that every time you're in town, just kind of getting rations, stocking up, passing people. The folks that are kind of dressed or identify as the Bahamut followers tend to like really avoid the followers of Lathander. There's definitely some animosity and strife there between them, which is problematic because Calvin's Inn is pretty close to the Shrine of Lathander, which is its own set of challenges. But they don't seem to be enjoying each other's company. Marigold almost all out refuses to even look at you. There's definitely some sense of tension there. Another kind of day passes. You're in town a little bit, just assisting with some small things as you're resting and kind of taking in the sights, stopping up on things. Does anyone want to stock up on anything before I just initiate the next portion, just so I know? Any new supplies or anything you guys need?
Guys want to get some flippers, rain jacket?
Yeah, we need some scuba gear for
Cool.
this next.
Yeah.
So for brevity, what I'll say is you guys, on our next session, if there were things that you wanted to pick up, if you think about it between then and now, we'll work out what you guys ended up getting. But
Okay.
on the second second morning, you do actually see two ships off in the distance, mooring just outside of the shallows, where they can kind of, it's about as close as they can get, which is probably still a quarter mile like off in the distance from where you guys are. But you do see like rowboats kind of starting to become visible. All this time, by the way, storms are still happening. The seas kind of undulate a bit as more thunder kind of is happening as well. The weather has really started to set in, and there's just a consistent overcast to thunder, to overcast to thunder. It's very troubling, and it's hard to sleep. It's hard to focus. But you do see these two different rowboats coming from two different ships. One is a smaller ship, looks a little bit more agile, like a Corsair. Another is kind of a bigger galley, and it seems like it's maybe more of a cargo ship or even like a bigger freighter. And so you head towards Valdi's tent, waiting for these two people to arrive. She's kind of expecting you, so she's kind of laid out a little bit of a spread and has some assistants around and has a bit of a table, almost like it's an interview session, which is a little entertaining. And shortly, in walk two very different characters. One, which Zendri kind of perks up on right away, is a tabaxi, a fellow cat folk person who seems to be stumbling a little bit. But she's still got, even with her stumble, still has a bit of grace and kind of prowess to her. And she kind of bows a little like sloppily and says, "Allow me to introduce myself. I am Stanzentar, and this is definitely the wisest choice for who you should pick to command your ship at seas." And then right behind her walks in a very stout, kind of short though for his species, a dragonborn, a white dragonborn, kind of walks in with a little bit more of a straight face and says, "I am Christophson, and I be the person you'll be hiring for this endeavor, if you do have a bit of brains about you." And that's where we'll end the mission tonight, as you see these two new characters walk into this tent with Valdi, deciding who will take you on to the Thundercliffs.